Hello you guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, and today's video is going to be a little bit different than normal because we're going to be talking about our Disney World trip. I'm wearing my Disney World sweatshirt that I got on our trip. It was my first time at Disney, so I wanted to talk about our trip, kind of what went into planning our Disney trip, but more importantly, the ways that we saved money on our Disney World trip. So I didn't make a video before we went. I usually make kind of like a packing, getting ready video, and I didn't do that, but I will be posting all of the vlogs from each park on my channel, so make sure to keep an eye out for those. I'm gonna start posting them soon. We did one day at each park, so we were gone for 4 days, did all 4 parks, and they were very busy, very full days. I have all the footage from the actual like Disney World parks as well as Disney Springs. We went there our first day. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, but this video is mainly about all the ways that you can save money when you go to Disney World. 14 ways, in fact, that you can save money when you go to Disney World. I know Disney's expensive, so we're all trying to save as much as possible. If you want me to make more videos about Disney, how we planned, what we did in the future, just let me know and I can always make more. But I think it's really important for people who are looking to go to Disney World. Here's ways that you can save like the most money possible. And it seems like everybody I know is in Disney right now, so there's also that. I have a whole list. Here are my 14 ways that you can save as much money as possible on your Disney World trip. The first thing, the biggest tip I would say, is timing of your trip. Your timing of your vacation is actually really important for a lot of reasons. Number one being your park ticket price, your hotel price, and even your flights. Depending on the season that you go, there's peak seasons, there's not peak seasons for travel and for Disney. So if you can time your vacation right, you could save a lot of money. For example, Christmas time and Halloween time, all of those, spring break, all those holidays are super packed at Disney. So the park tickets are going to be more expensive. Any kind of festival at Epcot, the tickets to the park could be more expensive. And in addition to that, the resort fee and like staying on Disney property, that could be really expensive as well. But flights to Orlando, if you're choosing to fly, are more expensive around holidays. I don't think that's news to anybody, but flights are more expensive around Christmas time. If you decide to go around a peak season, just know you could also be paying a little bit more. So what we did is we went in the middle of February. We flew out of Raleigh on a Saturday because I've read everywhere that Saturdays are like the best and cheapest days to travel. I don't know why, but that's what I've read. So our flights were not that bad. We did nonstop round trip and it was less than $200. And then the actual park ticket and the resort where we stayed was not that much either. So definitely, if you can control the timing of your vacation, I would definitely choose a time where it's not going to be as busy and flights and other expenses could be cheaper. This one is kind of specific to military members, and the way that Jesse and I actually saved the most money was get the military tickets and stay at Shades of Green Resort. So if you're not active military or retired military, this won't necessarily apply to you, but if you know anybody and you want to go with them to Disney, you would apply this as well. This would apply to you. So Jesse is in the military, so we got the military tickets and we got to stay at the Shades of Green Resort. Now, Shades of Green is owned by the Department of Defense, but it's on Disney property, so you get all the perks of staying on Disney property, but without the Disney price tag. So to stay, we looked at Animal Kingdom or any of those kinds of hotels. I wanted giraffes outside my window. I thought that would be cool. Those are gonna run you at least $300 a night, and Shades of Green was way more affordable at around $150 a night. That's like half off. And it's a really nice resort. We didn't see it a lot because we opened and closed those parks, but the room was really nice. It had free public transportation. It had a Starbucks, which was important for me. Overall, it was a really nice experience, but the only thing is you have to have somebody who has a military ID to get on the property, to stay at the hotel. So Jesse, obviously, he has his military ID, so we brought my sister and my friend. They could stay we all stay in the same hotel. They could get on the property because they were with him. So if you know somebody, maybe your family member is active or retired military, they could go with you and you could get this discount. But if you are active or retired military, do it this way. At least stay at Shades of Green because it's going to save you just so much money and you get all the perks. At Shades of Green, you also get the early park hours, so you can rope drop, get there 30 minutes before. You are allowed to do that at Shades of Green, and you also get extended park hours staying at Shades of Green. So extended park hours vary by park by day. So for example, we went to Epcot on a Monday. That's when they were doing their extended park hours. So we got to stay 2 hours after everybody else left. 2 hours after park close, we got to stay at Epcot. And that's really nice if you want to ride rides and you don't want to wait in like super long lines, you can wait until after park close if you have those extended hours. And you get that with Shades of Green. So you get a lot of perks when staying at Shades of Green. But another thing is the military tickets. Now you have to do, I think it's called Military Salute. We had a 4-day or a 5-day park hopper pass. Those were our only options. So we chose the 4-day park hopper. Was very comparable, about 40% off the standard ticket price for that time. And there is a slight catch when it comes to the military tickets. You have to buy them on a military base, but you could also order them through Shades of Green. So Jesse and I, we made the reservation at Shades of Green and then called them and ordered the tickets through them and had them shipped to our house, if that makes sense. But it was so worth anything. It was so worth it because the tickets were significantly cheaper than buying a standard park ticket. And again, staying at Shades of Green, significantly cheaper than a lot of the other standard hotels on Disney property. Now you can stay off of Disney property. I know a lot of other Good Partner hotels or whatever they're called, you can stay there and it'll be a little cheaper as well. But if this is how Jesse and I saved the most amount of money. Park ticket and resort were like 40 to 50% off the standard price. So if you are active or retired military or want to bring somebody along on your Disney trip who is active or retired military, stay at Shades of Green, get the Military Salute tickets. That's the only reason why we could even afford to go. Because we stayed at Shades of Green, we got access to public transport to Disney. So we had a bus system and also the monorail. Those are the two that we took most often. So if you are staying in a hotel, definitely take advantage of their public transportation to Disney, because another way we saved money was not having a parking fee. So a lot of the hotels and resorts, you have to pay to park there. So if you drove your car to Orlando and you're staying there, you're kind of out of luck, you have to pay. But if you're flying in like we did, we Ubered. We got an Uber XL to and from the airport. It cost us like $60. And we didn't have to worry about the resort parking fee. And then we also didn't have to worry about the parking fee at the actual park. Because if you drive to Epcot, you have to pay to park there. So if you brought your car to the Disney resort, I would do public transportation the rest of the time because it's really not worth just those added fees. But if you're like us, like I said before, we flew into Orlando, we Ubered to and from the hotel, and we wanted to be in the Disney bubble. So we were totally fine with not having a car and relying completely on Uber or the public transport to the Disney parks. So that's a way we saved a lot of money because we didn't have a parking fee. Because like I said, you have to pay the parking fee, and then if we would have rented a car, we would have had to pay that fee on top of the parking fee. So you're paying for the rental car, you're paying to park the rental car, and we really didn't need a car when we were there. If you were like us and you wanted to stay in the Disney bubble, you don't need a car when you're there. But if you wanted to go to, Universal or the beach or something, maybe a car would be right for you. But for us, it was a no-brainer. We don't need to pay that extra. We don't need a car. and we saved a lot of money that way. This one's kind of big. Plan your dinner or your meal reservations as soon as possible. As soon as you can. I think it's about 60 days before your reservation, you can start booking food reservations. And by meal reservations, I mean sit-down restaurants. Counter service, you don't need like a reservation to do like counter service restaurants. But if you want to sit down and eat, you have to have a dining reservation. And I say make them as far in advance as you can. Yes, the fancy schmancy ones like the Space 220 will be, like that one will fill up really quickly, and the Be Our Guest restaurant will fill up really quickly. Those are really expensive ones, but there's also kind of middle grade restaurants that could fill up really quickly. And we wanted to make sure that we got an affordable meal and we got to sit down. So we made one meal reservation every single day at each park. And we wanted in like a mid-range where you could get maybe more affordable options if you wanted to, because we were going in a group of 4. We didn't want everyone to feel obligated to spend a lot of money, and we really did not want to spend a lot of money on food. We wanted to try as much food as possible, and we knew it's already a big expense, so we don't want to blow a ton of money on one meal. So that's what we did. We made sure we made reservations at pretty nice restaurants, so we got to sit down for a while, and we made sure to do it in advance so those middle grade, the average priced restaurants wouldn't book up in advance. So if that's something that you're wanting to do, definitely try to do that as soon as you can. All right, we're still talking about food. We're going to talk about sharing food. This is a way that Jesse and I save money pretty much everywhere we go, is sharing food. It's kind of self-explanatory. So we would try a snack, we would get one item and then just each share it. So you get to try more things, but also you don't spend as much because he doesn't get a whole one, I don't get a whole one. And honestly, we ate so much at Disney World that some meal times we weren't that hungry, to be completely honest. When we were in Hollywood Studios, we ate at the 50s Primetime Cafe. Super adorable, highly recommend. But it's comfort food, so pretty heavy food. We did not want to eat all of it. I did not want to eat a whole meal by myself, so we split one and they let us split it with no extra charge. So we split a whole dinner. So obviously that's a way to make it more affordable. When we were in Epcot, we ate at this pizza place. I forget what it's called. The group of us, our group of 4, shared a large pizza. So we split it all 4 ways, and it made it really affordable. So if you're down for sharing food with your significant other, with your family, like I could see a family going to this pizza place and splitting a pizza, like one pizza amongst everybody. It makes it more affordable. So definitely look to see, what foods you could share, and go with people who don't mind sharing food, and you'll save a lot more money this way. Okay, still on food, of course, because food is a huge expense when you're at Disney, but I loved the kids meal hack. I should have said this at the beginning, but Jesse and we went with my sister and my friend, so we were 4 adults. We didn't have any kids, but the kid meal hack, it only applies to counter service restaurants. Not sit down. If you do a sit down place, they will not let you order off the kids menu if you're not a child. But counter service places, they don't know if you have children or not, and you can order ahead on their app. With the Disney app, you can order ahead and go and pick it up at a counter service restaurant. That's what we did. In Magic Kingdom, we did this at the Starlight Cafe. I had eaten so much that day. Came dinner time, I was not super hungry, and I also really wanted mac and cheese, but like a little bit of mac and cheese, not a whole adult portion of mac and cheese. So I got a kids meal at the Starlight Cafe, kids meal of mac and cheese. This meal came with mac and cheese, 2 sides, and a drink. So I got macaroni and cheese, I got french fries, I got apple slices, and I got one of those like little baby water bottles, and it was $7. Only $7 versus an adult meal being at least $12, if not a lot more. I forget what I was about to order there, but I was like, you know what? I think I just want a kids meal. I wish I would have done it more than the last day we were there. Because it was $7 and you got a lot more than the other meals, the adult meals. You just get maybe a burger and fries, or, only one side. I got apples, I got french fries, I got a little drink, definitely look into this if you're trying to save money and if you're not that hungry. Because I get to a point where I just don't feel that hungry because I've been eating nonstop all day. So maybe that will work for dinner for you if you don't have a meal reservation. Just order online, like order ahead on the app, or you can walk up and get a kids meal on counter service. But again, I must reiterate that this is only for counter service restaurants. If you go to a sit-down place, go to a sit-down restaurant, they will not let you order off the kids menu unless you are a kid. So definitely take advantage of this kids meal hack at counter service restaurants. Okay, now we're off food and we're on to something super important. And a huge way that Jesse and I saved money was that we purchased items before we left. We purchased Disney items before we went to Disney. And what I mean by this, a great example are those little mini ears. You can get them at the park. You can get those at the park and they're gonna run you at least $30 a piece. Or like I did, I got mine off of Amazon. I got 2 pairs for $15. So 2 for the half of a price of 1. We bought our ears beforehand. I'm not gonna knock you if you want to buy ears at the park. That's totally fine. Just know if you're looking to save money, a super easy way is to buy the ears beforehand. If at all, you may not want ears. That's fine too. But it's a way that Jesse and I saved money. I also bought one of those Loungefly Disney backpacks. It is adorable, but because I got it on Box Lunch, it was on sale and I could use a discount code. So it made it way more affordable than getting a little backpack like this in the park, and you get more variety in the kinds of things. Same with the ears or t-shirts or socks or wherever. You get more variety of things. You're not limited by just what's in the park, and you can get it cheaper somewhere else. A lot of those t-shirts, like Pizza Planet t-shirt, you can get that at Target in the graphic t-shirt section, or you can pay a lot more at the park. I know Jesse beforehand, he bought a huge pack on Amazon of Mickey socks. He bought a different pair of socks for each day that all had like little Mickey ears or like Mickey's face or whatever on his socks. It was really cute, but it was a lot cheaper than buying any kind of sock at the park. So if you're wanting those kinds of things, try to get them beforehand. They're gonna be way cheaper. I also saw a little, it's not a hack, but those bubble wands are insane. Every kid has them at Disney. I didn't realize so many people had bubble wands. Somebody told, or I saw a video once where they said to buy it beforehand and then just bring it into the park and then give it to your kid instead of paying a lot of money for a bubble wand there. So if you're looking to save money and you're wanting, you know, the ears, a backpack, a bubble wand, whatever, try to bring those in and get them beforehand. You will save a lot of money there. Okay, a huge way we could save money was do not buy any limited edition or 50th anniversary items, including food. There are food items that are for 50th anniversary. They're a little bit more expensive, and are they worth it? I don't know. Like I said before, I'm not gonna knock you if you really, really want a 50th anniversary shirt and you're willing to pay that much for it. I don't care. Do whatever you want. Live your dream. But a way that we saved a lot of money, because we liked a lot of those souvenirs. We liked a lot of those jackets and shirts and stuff, but they were so expensive. So we just avoided them entirely. I got this sweatshirt. This sweatshirt was $40, which I feel like is not that bad for a sweatshirt in general. But some of those 50th anniversary t-shirts or long sleeve t-shirts, they weren't a sweatshirt, but they were like $85. There was a shirt that was over $100, like $120 for a 50th anniversary shirt. That's a lot. That is a lot of money for a shirt. The jackets are really expensive. A lot of those items, because they're limited edition, are really expensive. I know sometimes at Disney parks they release like limited edition designs for like tote bags, and that tote bag is $200. That is just not for me. It was not for us. So that was a really easy way to save money. Just, we didn't want any of the limited edition things. We didn't need a 50th anniversary shirt. So we just kind of avoided them entirely. And we saved a lot of money. It made us look for cheaper things because honestly, like half of the gift shops are covered in the 50th anniversary stuff. So I had to look for this sweatshirt. A lot of people were wearing it and I wanted it, and I had to look for it, and it was only $40. So super affordable. Definitely look into other options and just kind of stay away from the limited edition stuff. And even like the holiday specific stuff. There was this fancy Valentine's Day drink. Did I get it? Yes. Was it amazing? It was fine. But just be wary of not spending extra money just because it's limited edition or the holiday one. I mean, get whatever you want, but you will pay a little bit more for it. So again, this little tip is a little bit specific to our situation, but we knew we were going to Disney before Christmas. So when everyone asked, like in our family, what can we get you? We asked for Disney gift cards. So try asking for Disney gift cards for your birthday, for Christmas, whatever you want. That's what Jesse did. His birthday's really close to Christmas, so he just asked for Disney gift cards for both. And we had a lot of Disney gift cards. With those Disney gift cards, you get to use them in the park. You can use them on your souvenir. You can use them on food. You can use them on so many things. My sister also had gift cards, and she used them just to eat whatever she wanted. It's a great way to kind of help fund your Disney trip. So if a holiday is coming up or your birthday or something and you don't know what to ask for, maybe ask for Disney gift cards because you can use them all throughout the park. You can use them on souvenirs. We used ours on souvenirs and it made our souvenirs very, very affordable. Highly recommend. If you can ask for gift cards, definitely do. Okay, let's talk about Genie Plus. My tip for this is to only get Genie Plus for Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, if at all. You do not need Genie Plus. I don't think you need Genie Plus. Let's quickly go over what Genie Plus is. So basically, Disney's version of their Fast Passes. I was told in the past, Fast Passes were included. Well, now you have to pay for them. It is $15 per person per day. So for Jesse and I, it would be $30 per day, because math, there's two of us. So you pay extra, it's all in the app, and you get to book your lightning lane. So your lightning lanes can be for specific rides that offer it. So you wake up in the morning, you start booking your rides, but there's some rules to it. If you want to get Genie Plus before your trip, you have to only get it for your entire trip. If you only want it for one day, you have to get up early on that day and buy it that day. So we did not want it for the entire trip. We decided to get it just for Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. So we woke up early, Jesse purchased it on the app, and we had it. Bing, bang, boom, that was easy. So then it opens up at 7 a.m. You can book your first ride. The catch is all the spaces that are available are going to be the earliest available spaces for that day. I can explain that a little bit better. So let's say you want to ride Splash Mountain so badly, but you go on there and at 7 a.m. and there is a reservation. The earliest one is 2 p.m. It will never get earlier than 2 p.m. It will only ever get later. So if you really want to ride that ride, book it in advance. Book it right then. But the catch is you have to either ride that ride or wait 2 hours before booking another one. We had a couple booked because everything was in the afternoon and evening. And then we just rope dropped the big rides when we got there. So you can book multiple in your app. You don't have to only have one at a time, but just know that you have to wait until you ride the ride or you wait 2 hours, whichever one comes first, and then you can book another one. Whenever you book, you have to have your app or your ticket or a Magic Band or whatever to scan and get in the Lightning Lane line. The Lightning Lane is really nice. Like I said, we did it for 2 parks. It was really fun to just walk on a ride that had a 75-minute wait. You didn't have to wait in that long line. It's really, really nice, and it's really, really tempting to do it everywhere you go. Whenever we had to actually wait in line, it was really annoying because I just wanted to walk on, but we didn't have lightning lanes for them. But do you need them? Absolutely not. But why I say Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios only and not Epcot or Animal Kingdom is because Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios have the most rides, especially Magic Kingdom. You could get away with not getting it in Hollywood Studios, but especially Magic Kingdom, they have so many rides that it was kind of nice to just walk around and, oh, we have this reservation, and we just walk on and get off. Like Haunted Mansion, we just walked on. It was insane. It was wild. It was great. So that's a really cool option for Genie Plus. It's nice if you're really into riding rides. If you don't really care about the rides, or you're there more to see Disney or see the shows or the princesses or whoever, you don't need Genie Plus really at all. But if you were like us and you really wanted to ride some of these rides, we wanted to ride as many rides as possible, Genie Plus is amazing. But I wouldn't get it for Epcot or Animal Kingdom. There just aren't that many rides there, and the rides there don't get super long lines. Only like the 2 big rides, they get a long line, but the majority of the other rides just don't get super long lines, so I didn't find it really worth it to get it there. And so I'm really glad we didn't get it, especially Animal Kingdom. You don't need Genie Plus for Animal Kingdom. Like, you really don't. You really don't. You can use your Lightning Lane to get onto shows, but I will say, nobody didn't get into a show. Like, everyone got into all the shows when we were there. So I felt like Lightning Lane for a show was kind of pointless. So going off of Genie Plus, there are things called fancy rides. That's what we call them. And they are not included in your Genie Plus $15 per person per day. And a way that you can save money is not paying for those fancy rides. Now, the fancy rides, there's about 2 per park that are not included in the Genie Plus. So in Magic Kingdom, it is Space Mountain and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. In Epcot, it is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and Frozen Ever After. In Hollywood Studios, I believe it's just Rise of the Resistance. It was the Mickey and Minnie Runaway whatever, but I don't think that is a fancy ride anymore. I think it's included in Genie Plus. And in Animal Kingdom, it is the Banshee, the Pandora, what is it called? Flight of the Banshee, Pandora, and Expedition Everest in Animal Kingdom. So those are the 2 rides in each park, and you have to pay extra for those Lightning Lanes. Now, I will say, you don't have to have Genie Plus for that day to pay extra for these. And they can range from like, I think $7 to $9 to $11 to $15. Really, it depends on how popular that ride is. Rise of the Resistance, you're probably paying $15 just to get the Lightning Lane for that ride. It works very similarly to other Lightning Lanes. You book a time, you show up at that time, and you kind of walk on. But, like I said before, you don't have to do it. So for what we did not pay extra for those. We did Genie Plus, but we didn't pay extra. What we did is, because we got the early entrance into the parks, we rope dropped, which means you wait until it opens, and booked it to the rides that we wanted to ride. So really, out of the 2, there was like 1 that we really wanted to do at each park. So for Epcot, for example, we really wanted to do the Remy ride. We booked it to Remy, and we waited like 45 minutes, which isn't that bad considering it gets like a 2-hour wait, and we got to ride it, and we were good the rest of the day. That was the 1 ride we really wanted to ride. Magic Kingdom, booked it to Space Mountain. Space Mountain was closed, but we still went. Similarly to all the other ones, every time it opened, we went right to the big ride, so we didn't have to pay for it, and that was it. It worked out really well. And so we didn't have to pay extra for any of these fancy rides. Another way that we got to ride these rides as well was we had the extended park hours. So I mentioned before at Epcot, we went there on a Monday. They had extended park hours that day. So everybody else had to leave, and we rode Frozen Ever After. We only waited 40 minutes for it. And this is a ride that gets like a 2-hour long wait. It's a super long wait time of this ride. I mean, at least an hour and a half wait, I would say, at a bare minimum. And we only waited like 40 minutes. So we got to ride a ride and then we left because we were so tired. And that's a water ride. I didn't realize that you get so wet on that ride. So there you go. We did the same thing our last day. We actually park hopped from Animal Kingdom to Magic Kingdom and had extended park hours. and rode Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And this one, I'm so glad we did it. It blew my mind. This is a super popular ride. You will wait a long time for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but for us, we only waited 25 minutes because of the extended park hours. So I couldn't imagine paying extra for a ride that we just spent 25 minutes to get on. Like, it's wild. It's wild, okay? Well, there's one ride that I feel like is pretty worth the extra money, and that is Rise of the Resistance if you're going to pay for any fancy ride, because this ride could have up to a 3-hour plus wait. We waited 2.5 hours for this ride, and that's a whole other story time, I'll tell you that. We waited a really long time for Rise of the Resistance, so if you don't want to, just pay for it. But just know, you don't have to pay for any of these. You can work around it. Go straight to the ride at Rope Drop or do the extended park hours. And a huge hack is if you don't care about the shows or the fireworks or anything at like Magic Kingdom or Epcot, ride rides during the show. We rode Space Mountain during the fireworks at Magic Kingdom because we didn't really care to see the show that night. We knew we were going to come back on our last day and watch the show and fireworks then because we wanted to kind of conclude our time at Disney at Magic Kingdom. Another great option to not buying the fancy ride. So I mentioned that we park hopped, but the only reason we had the park hopper was because it came with our tickets. I would skip out on the park hopper if I had to pay extra for it. So that's a way to save money. Just don't pay extra for the park hopper. The reason I say don't pay extra is because it's pretty expensive. I mean, I would do your own research, but we only park hopped one day out of all the days. There's so much to do at every single park. You don't have to get the park hopper. I know plenty of families with younger kids who didn't get the park hopper and they just opened and closed Disney. Like they just got there in the morning, left at night, and that was their full day. There's so much to do at every single park, even Animal Kingdom. It does close a little bit early. Like maybe you want to go home or back to the hotel and relax. I don't think park hoppers for the additional cost are necessarily worth it. Maybe if you're there for like an entire week and you could park hop back and forth to a bunch of different places, great. Or if you're only there for like 1 or 2 days, but you want to get all 4 parks in, fine, get the park hopper. But if you were there for 4 days, you're planning 1 day at each park, you don't need the park hopper. So I personally would skip out on it, but that's up to you. So back on things you probably don't need are magic bands. Did we buy magic bands? Yes. Do we need magic bands? No. They're kind of a waste of money. We got them because Jesse really wanted to, and they're fun souvenirs, so I'm not knocking them entirely, but they're at least $20 with like a character on it. They could be like $30 or $40 with some of the designs or limited edition 50th anniversary ones. I got one that has Baby Yoda on it. Jesse got one that has Pizza Planet. Are they cute? Yes. Were they really convenient? Yes. I mean, you walk up to it, you just scan your magic band. You don't have to get the app out. You don't have to get your physical ticket out. Same with the lightning lanes. You just scan your magic band. But are they necessary? No. They are not necessary at all. I think the solid color ones, the solid color magic bands might be $10. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But the ones that we got were like $20. We could have saved that money and spent it elsewhere. They weren't necessary. So and I can't even imagine, like if you're a family and every single person has a magic band, that's a lot. That is a lot of money just there. So I would spend the money elsewhere, to be honest. I would rather get Genie Plus than a magic band any day. Unless you really want it as a souvenir, I would kind of skip it. I didn't think it was that worth it. And the 14th and final tip for this video is a little shout out to another channel here on YouTube. We watched the Disney Food Blog channel so much when we were planning our trip to Disney. They give you all things Disney all day. They give you all the tips and tricks of Disney, what rides are worth it with Genie Plus. They kind of do a whole Genie Plus breakdown. Head over to their channel and watch all of their videos. They give you the lowdown on food, the best places to get food, the worst places to get food, like places don't even waste your time with food. Food is really important to us, so we watched all of their videos. I think they mostly focus on Disney World, but they talk about Disneyland occasionally, so maybe there's some crossover. Definitely check out their channel. They were a huge help. They also have a website and a blog. Obviously, it's called Disney Food Blog, and they have printouts. They have a lot of resources over there, so if you want to get the most out of your vacation, definitely at least watch their videos. But they have so many resources that you can tap into. They go to the parks every single day, so I definitely trusted their recommendations, their suggestions. Jesse and I watched them all the time leading up to our trip, and we actually planned so many things around the videos that we watched. For example, in Magic Kingdom, I love cinnamon rolls, and they said don't bother with the giant Mickey cinnamon roll. It's really dry. Don't bother with it. Go to Gaston's Tavern in Magic Kingdom and get the cinnamon roll there. And boy, did I. It was huge, and it was delicious. They also said to get extra icing, which I did not do, but I should have. So that is just an example of a piece of advice that we took from Disney Food Blog, and it was definitely worth it. They have so much over there. I'm going to link their channel. I can't get over how much information they put into their videos. They're really well done. They think of so many things. They talk about if you have a family, other things that you should do, things for kids, and they just have everything. So I'm going to link their channel down below. Check them out if you're planning a trip to Disney. Watching their videos is like a must in my opinion. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I hope you found these tips helpful. We were trying to save as much money as possible, and I hope that you could learn from mistakes that we did. And definitely check out Disney Food Blog's channel, linked down below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and leave your comment down below. How are other ways to save money when going to Disney World? What is your Disney World experience? Did you try any of these tips when you went? Do you disagree with anything? Leave them down in the comments below. Let's start a discussion. And if you want me to cover more travel tips, Disney tips in the future, I know I have some vlogs out there with our, traveling adventures, and I'm going to be posting these Disney vlogs. Let me know if you want our traveling tips, how we think of it, how we save for it, how we try to get discounts on everything. Just let me know in the comments down below, but I'll see you next time. Bye!